Hey guys, welcome back. So, whether you're going camping or you're trying to survive SHTF, there's a bunch of different foods that you might want to stock up on, and we're going to talk about it today. First off, you got your freeze-dried food. This is going to last the longest, and it's probably the easiest for a camping type of scenario. All you got to do is boil some water and then dump it in the pack, let it sit for a little bit, and you got yourself a meal. Next up, I want to go over this company called Knorr, and it's different pasta dishes, and it's pretty easy. It's like the freeze-dried food without the shelf life, and it still lasts for quite a while. This one looks like it expires next year, so I mean, a year, that's really not that bad, but it's not the 15 years or the 30 years like the freeze-dried foods. But these are super easy, and it's a whole meal, and it's pretty light. So you can throw a couple of these in your bag whenever you go camping, and it's pretty easy to make. You just boil some water again, add this stuff. Now you will have to simmer it, so keep that in mind. And they make several different kinds here. Next up, we've got your breakfast kind of foods, and this is just oatmeal. You can get it in the big round cylinder that's just plain, but I like the flavored, so I go with this. And these are strawberry and cream. Boil water again, pour it in, you're good to go. Another cool thing, if you like potatoes, is the dried potatoes, and these last for a couple years, and all you got to do, boil water, dump it in, you got yourself some mashed potatoes, and they're flavored too. This one's garlic, you can get butter, whatever you want. Another good thing is your different canned goods. We got chili, got raviolis. These are very cheap, but they're not that great to eat. One thing to look for is the top. You want the pull tab, because can openers do break. You don't want to be in a scenario where your can opener's broken and you can't get the can open. Obviously you'd improvise and adapt, but it's better just to not even worry about it and get the pull tab. Campbell's chicken noodle soup, everybody likes that on a cold day. Then we'll go with our canned meats. This is Spam. You either love it or you hate it. It's best whenever it's fried, I think. Got some chicken. This stuff lasts a long time. Let's see what the date is. It's got a Best By date of 2023, so that's 2 years from now. And keep in mind that the Best By date is for flavor, so these will last much longer than that. You've also got tuna, and it's not real cost effective, but the flavors in these tuna creations are unmatched. My favorite is probably the buffalo style, but I like them all. This one's herb and garlic. There's tons of different flavors. Just go to your grocery store and you can pick them out. Another one, lasts pretty much forever, is ramen noodles. Keep in mind, this is not healthy for you. I've heard that it takes a long time to actually digest the noodles, but in a pinch, it's pretty tasty. Honey is another good one. This lasts forever. It will not go bad as long as you get pure actual honey. And if you ever seen it crystallize, what you can do is just set it out in the sun, the whole bottle, and it should come back to life. Peanut butter is a good one. It's high in calories. It's got protein in it. Good flavor. What I like to do is I'll mix peanut butter and honey and you'll find it doesn't take very much to fill you up. Another thing is this mac and cheese. Now, Kraft, you're gonna have to add milk and butter to it to make it taste good, but you could do it with water in a pinch. The Velveeta, on the other hand, it's got everything in it. So all you have to do is boil the water and then simmer the noodles. And then it's got a packet in there with the cheese. I'm sure you guys have had this, where you don't have to add anything. It's just all right there. These I love. The 15 bean soup. It's got a seasoning packet in there. It takes a long time to make. You have to soak the beans overnight, and then you'll have to cook the beans and then add this in. So keep that in mind. It's not fuel efficient, but if you're in an SHTF scenario where you're in your house, you're on propane, let's say, and your stove still works, good source, and it'll also heat up your house while you're making it. Speaking of that takes a while to make. You got rice and beans, and then those, same thing, you're gonna have to soak them. I don't get the 15-minute rice because it doesn't last as long. The regular rice will last much, much longer. And what I've done is I've actually vacuum sealed these jars, and we'll go over that in another video, how you go about doing that. But it prolongs the life a little bit. I mean, the life of rice is indefinite as long as there's no moisture. And that's what that's doing. It's preventing moisture from getting in. This here, if you go, we got this from an Amish store. It's broccoli and cheddar soup, and it's dried, and it's a powder. So what you can do is put your label on the top on how to make it, and pretty much you just put 3/4 of a cup of soup in with 1.5 cups of water and a cup of milk. You don't have to add the milk if you don't want to. It's for flavor. Another thing is these emergency food rations, and they're like bars. So it comes in a big block, and then they're portioned off, and each one of those little squares gives you 400 calories. And it's 2,400 calories total. I mean, it's good to throw in your truck, or if you go hiking, throw it in your backpack. You never know, you might go on a day trip and something happens, you need a little bit more food. Well, you got it right here. Another thing to keep in mind is some beverages. You might get tired of drinking plain water. I've got tea here. You can get Gatorade pouches, the little pouch things, or you could buy it in bulk and get the big jars of it. And then one more thing that I don't have on the table is protein powder. So like your whey protein, stuff like that. It's going to provide a lot of calories for you, a lot of protein, and you're going to be able to drink it. So it takes no time at all to make. Just mix it up in some water and you're good to go. Now that we've covered all these, I think we're going to go ahead and I'll show you how to make some Mountain House. So we'll look at the consistency of it, and then we'll make one of these too. So we'll be right back. Okay guys, we're back and we're about set up here. I think we're gonna start with the creamy garlic shells. So we'll give this one a shot. It says it cooks in 11 minutes. And the instructions say, in a medium saucepan, bring 1.5 cups of water and 1/2 cup of milk to a boil. So we don't have the milk. We're gonna try it with just water. So let's try that. And we're gonna see if this little guy can get its redemption. I was, after the last video, I was a little concerned, and I thought maybe the cup was too small for this kind of burner. So we're gonna see if this boils any faster with the pot. Because it comes all the way out to the wings, a little more surface area. We'll see. These water bottles have about 2 cups of water in them, so I'll go ahead and pour that. And we'll cover it and get our stove lit. Turn it up. Put that to the side. Now after that comes to a boil, we're supposed to stir in the contents, reduce the heat, and continue boiling for 11 minutes. So there we go. Now over here, we've got the Mountain House. This is spicy Southwest style skillet. I have not tried this one. I usually don't eat these, but I tried my first one the other day, and it was biscuits and gravy, and it wasn't bad. Now, I will say it was a little soupy, so I'm gonna try to use a little less water, because I've done some research on them too after I had them, and I guess that's an issue with all of their stuff. It's, they want a little too much water in them. So this one says bring 1.5 cups up to a boil. So I think I'm gonna go with a cup in our JetBoil, and the bottom has a 1 cup measuring cup. We'll pour that in there. Yeah, I'll go just a little more than a cup. Probably gonna regret that. I need to start that. One good thing with the Mountain House is you don't need an extra pot or pan or nothing. Once you boil the water, the whole thing cooks in this package. Let's go ahead and get it opened up. It has one of these oxygen absorbers. Be sure to take that out. Then I'll come around here and show you guys the contents. So that's what we're looking like right now. Got a bunch of different stuff in there. Oh, that water's done. And we'll pour that in there. Give it a little stir. And we'll zip it back up. All right, now it says wait 5 minutes, stir again, and reseal after we dump our water in. We'll see what time it is, set a timer for 5 minutes. We have redemption. This is actually boiling. So that was the issue. At first I thought that it might have been just a junk stove. But the truth is it's not. We'll tone that back a little bit to where it's just simmering. You can turn this guy real low too, and it doesn't blow out. We'll give her a stir. And that's supposed to go for 11 minutes, just like this. Okay guys, our timer just went off. So let's open this up. We'll give it another stir. And then I'll let you guys see it. So that's what it looks like now. It smells good. Let's see what it tastes like. We need to pray before we eat. Wow. This is a lot better than their biscuits and gravy. And I liked it. You can't even tell that it was freeze-dried. That's crazy. The meats are still chewy, like you just cooked them. That's really surprising to me, guys. I might have to get some more of these. We've got a timer going for these too. They've got about 4 minutes left on them. So I'll be back to show you guys how these turn out too. The timer went off for this, and I will say I'm very disappointed. I've made this with milk a lot, but I think that you need to make yours with milk because that just does not look very appetizing. But we're in a scenario here where we're in a pinch. So I'm going to try it anyway and see what it tastes like. It still does have some flavor to it. It doesn't look very good. It doesn't look real good at all. But I could eat this. Definitely, if you're going to take this along with you, bring some powdered milk. Because it makes this about 50 times better. But this isn't bad. Yeah, it's not bad, but it is missing the milk. Because I've made these, like I said, several times before with the milk. And they taste really good whenever you do it that way. So I guess we both learned something today. All right, so we've ate our meal, guys. Now it's time to clean up after ourselves a little bit. Now with the The noodles, you're gonna need some more water. Go ahead and dump that in there. You don't need a ton, but maybe a cup or so, a little over a cup, depending on how big your pot is. I'm gonna put it back on here. Oh, about lost it. And we'll fire this up again. And for the Mountain House, the cup is clean, but we have to get our spoon clean. So with this one, we'll take the leftover water from our meal, dump it in there, and we'll start that fire too. What we're doing is we're just heating up the water to help break down some of the stuff that's in there. You're also going to need a rag. Keep that in mind too. And then once this comes up to a boil, you're going to stick your spoon in there and swirl it around. Wipe it off with the rag. Dump out your water and you ought to be golden. There we go. And just dump out your water. Make sure nothing got left behind in the cup, and it didn't. That's finished. So we'll let that dry out, then put it all back together. You're gonna wanna get your spoon in there, kind of rinse it off. We'll dry it off. And then dip your rag in that water. Now it's boiling, mind you, so be careful. Turn off your heat. Swirl it around and go ahead and dump it out. And then you can take your rag, wipe off the sides. The bottom will be clean. And then wipe it on the dry part. And you're good to go. Have a good evening, guys. Bye-bye.